How smart are they? Come on, let's build for ourselves a city and let's take ourselves to the next level of greatness. But how smart are they? You can think I'm talking about somebody, right? No, I'm talking about computers. How smart are they? They are just zeros and ones. Unless I type lines of code to give them instruction on what they are supposed to do. Come on, let's play the music.
I don't need no 5G because I live in 5D. I don't need no towers, I just need more of the pine trees. So when I kick it, then you know just where you'll find me. It's your power. Maybe you should just take your time, get more than just an hour. And think about the effect you can cause so the pot or cower. Yes, constantly progress, money, power, and success.
Oh, then you become smart. 2020 is the year of perfect vision, and you want to replace the perfect vision of men with the perfect vision of a computer. Aren't that smart enough? No, and nothing at all will ever replace the intelligence and the wisdom of humankind. You cannot be replaced by a computer. We don't need 5G because we are in 2020 transcending to the fifth dimension. That's where the secret is. Perfect vision, fifth dimension, and 5D. 5D versus 5G. They aren't smart, but they are trying to be. They call it technology. And what is not happening? Is it gonna be technology or is gonna take your knowledge? Think twice. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, and this is COVID-19 Reviewed, and we are going with our daily series, and today we are talking about 5G. How is it related to COVID-19? Because there are a lot of questions, speculation going on, and we would like to cover that today. They wanted to build a city because they said, we want to be great. We want to be great. So they wanted to build a city because they wanted to be great. They wanted smart cities. They wanted to build a tower going all the way to heaven. God saw that the men or the sons of men are becoming too, I don't think that was too wise. I would rather say they were becoming too foolish. So he decided, let them build, but I will drop it down the moment it begins to rise up. Do not try to live beyond the confines of nature. Do not try to live beyond the confines of your Creator. You are the created, and you can never be above the Creator. What is 5G? It's called 5G. It's simply the fifth generation of wireless networks. Because as you have seen, we have transcended from 3, 4, now we are getting into 5G. Why has 5G brought so much talk? Why has it brought so much talk? And when was 5G invented? 5G has been used for many years, but we shall explain where it has been used and why it has been used there. But to the common man into the business world, it began to be unveiled last year, end of 2019. And from there is a lot of things that happened that we are going to talk about. Since from 2001, there was 3G, then 2009, 4G, then 5G, 2019. So it's coming in the series of after every 9 years, as you can see. So we don't know, maybe by 2029 they are going to propose 10G, 6G, we don't know. Okay, so this is it, fifth generation of wireless networks. But why is it causing so much talk? Why do they also love 5G so much? 5G, of course, it has got its own advantages and disadvantages, and the very first advantage is that it's so fast. So fast. When we say so fast, we mean it. That is to say, if I were to give an example of at least 10 gigabytes of a movie or a file that you want to download from the internet, if you are to download the same file using 5G and 4G, with 4G it can cost you more than 16 minutes, but with 5G that will just take you simply 11 seconds. So there is a massive difference. It has got massive speed. Just to say 1, 2, 3, 4, 11 seconds. Wow, 10 gig down. That's massive, okay? But there are some disadvantages that comes with it. And biggest disadvantage is that it has got some waves, microwaves. These microwaves are measured in form of what you call GHz, gigahertz. So these frequency radiations that comes or that generates or that brings upon microwaves, they are the talk when it comes to why we don't want 5G and we're gonna want 5D. Okay? The issue here is these are short waves. If they are short, it means they don't travel a long distance. So it means when you are implementing 5G, you are going to have at least this mini pause after every 200 meters. So it's now like it's coming back to the telecommunication where we used to have the generation of landlines. Can you remember? Because it's almost the same. After 100 meters, you have a pole. So it's like it's coming back to this generation. So do you want to go back or you want to go forward? That one is not the issue anyway. If the wave is also short, it also means that there is some blockages. It does not penetrate through the objects like trees, like buildings, etc. So that is the reason they want it to be after every at least after every 200 meters there is a pole. And this pole now will be having what you call the antennas, at least 3 antennas on each pole to cover the circle, which is 360 degrees. And around that 360 degrees there is radiation being released. So the issue is on radiation. With radiation comes microwaves. You won't see them, but you can feel the radiation if you are close to to these mini boosters, to these mini poles. Because they say a person is not allowed to be closer to the pole, at least not as close as 2 meters. That is to say, you can begin to feel the heat from there. And this radiation heat is dangerous. And where is this heat coming from? I have been interviewing another guy on my WhatsApp, and I was asking him, and this guy, he works in telecommunication industry, and he actually recently installed this 5G network pause. I first asked him and I said, were there safety precautions to be observed before the installation? And he answered me, he said, we don't install when connected. We get connected afterwards installation. That is to say, they first make the whole setup and then they come back, they do the connection. For certain reasons I will explain as we go. So he said, yes, of course, but nothing to protect you from what radiation, because the frequency is too high, between 24 and 74 megawatts. So you must make sure you don't stand in front of the antenna. You have to make sure you don't stand in front of the antenna. It's interesting. You don't have protective clothes, but you have to stand. You should not stand in front of the antenna, which antenna is covering 360 degrees. It's interesting, right? And I also actually asked how much distance from one tower to another were the poles or the towers. The distance from one tower to another. He said these are actually being put as experimental purposes. So for now, there is no demarcation of the exact differences in terms of distance these towers should be. But if you are to Google radiationhealth.com, they speak about these distances. And this website, I advise you to visit it. It's very open about radiation, and these guys, they really speak the truth as it is about radiation. And by the way, you should remember that there are over 240 scientists before the launch of 5D who sent letters of appeal to the European Union to ask them to make sure that they review and they put on good laws before the launch of 5G. But all that, I don't know whether it was what looked at. You do the installation before the connection. So when you do the connection and switch on the site, you have to check if there are any faults, so you can check while at least you are not in front of it, referring to the antenna. Though even if you are on the side, radiation effects may come out after or directly facing the tower or the antenna. The radiation effects will be actually coming to you, and they say the effects can be seen after about 15 years. Why is it like that? Radiation effects coming after about 15 years. All this time you have been living, you thinking life is fine, but later on the effects will come after 15 years. So these are the effects of standing before the antenna where the radiation is being emitted. And there is this other thing. The reason he's saying, though you are not directly facing the antenna, you can receive radiation waves, is simply because the purpose of making it 3 antennas on the tower is because they want it to cover and distribute the waves 360 dimensionally, or 360 degrees, which is to say this will be providing network to all encores, to all people around the area. That is to say, the towers of the the tower will be releasing, or the antennas will be releasing the radiation 360. Okay, so all around the space. That is what it simply means. I'm emphasizing this because I want to say something about it. There will be heat, because I said, what do you think will happen if you stand in front of the antenna? He said there will be heat, bruh. After you get off the tower, you hear or you feel a headache, and your body will be acting like funny. This is what he said. After you descend from the tower, because of the heat, you begin to feel the headache, and your body will be acting like funny. I don't know how funny is funny. In other words, he's trying to portray that you feel some abnormalities within your body because of the heat that has been coming to you. I also said, where do you think the heat will be coming from? Because I wanted to make sure that I have information. So I was asking like a stupid person, where do you think the heat will be coming from? And he said, there are 3 sectors of volts, of voltage, that is power cables, that are connected to each antenna, and each sector will be carrying 48 volts of power. And when they get to the antenna, now because the antenna is working, it begins to release radiation and heat and releasing waves. What do you think about it? This is somebody who works in the industry, and if it is in your street, definitely you always walk and pass by these type of towers. Play a video and I will show you something. There is another guy who has been interviewed and he was talking something to try to defend it.
Guys, that guy is really brilliant. He knows a lot about 5G, and please listen carefully to what he says about the health aspects of.
Okay, he said, guys, listen very carefully. This guy is really brilliant. We expect to hear something brilliant from this guy. So let's go ahead.
When people talk about 5G, they already think about radiation. How dangerous is 5G, or is it not dangerous at all?
Yeah, I mean, that's a funny subject. Obviously, we've seen lots of, naysayers distributing leaflets on, trains, etc. I think it's just people that every time there is a technology wave, or something to talk about, they will just become, those kind of activists. But actually, a lot of tests have been done from a lot of neutral, organizations, and 5G has less radiation, than a microwave, a phone, and actually 5G is consuming, 90% less energy in terms of the antennas than 4G antennas. So, why would it be more of a health risk than before? It's not true at all, and there's a lot of evidence.
What I discovered about these guys is that they emphasize too much on the speed that the kind of network has. This is where they try to convince people on the speed that this kind of network has. Why? Because they know we are in this data world. Remember, we are in the data world right now. So in this data world, we use a lot of data. We need to download and get connected faster. We want to stream, we want to play online games, we want to do virtual reality, this and this. Hackers want to do their job faster. You see, because of the speed, when everybody hears about internet speed, everything closes down. Their faces are closed. They don't worry about the consequences as long as they have speed. But if I remember one day I was in a taxi traveling, right? But I saw a very big billboard in front of me in the road. It was saying, speed kills. You get what I mean? Speed is not bad, but when speed kills, then please take your speed. I better walk. I better crawl. As long as I get where I'm going. So as long as I can make sure that 10 gig of software that I'm downloading, I will be able to get it even after 5 hours. But I am safe. It's not harmful for me. I don't care. I don't care. What is the benefit of you to lose your life and gain the entire world? What is the benefit? He is saying 5G has got less waves or less microwaves compared to those microwaves produced by a microwave that we use to heat our food. But let's talk a little bit about microwave, because they try to deceive us because the microwave is already in existence. So they want to try to coin us there to say, if we are using a microwave already, why are we not using 5G? But here is the issue. These two things are totally different. And that is why they have two different names. a microwave and 5G. Okay? A microwave, you use it to heat your food, right? And you take something, or maybe whatever you put your food in, you put it in the microwave, you close the door, you press, you put the number of minutes you want, then it heats for those certain minutes. How many times do you take your meals per day? Maybe 2 times. And how many times are you gonna heat your food? Maybe once, or you don't even use it such frequently. And how many times is your microwave going to be on? Maybe just 5 minutes. Okay? Again, how many people, we should not forget that, how many people in the world, how many people in Africa are using microwaves? Africans, we are too natural. We will love to cook our foods than to microwave. Okay? And even beyond that, doctors have been emphasizing, encouraging people not to use microwaves. That is to say, if you are using a microwave wherever you are, it's only because you are disobedient and you face the consequences thereof. But there was a warning of the effects of it. So why are they not also open to give us the effects of it, so that if we want to use 5G, we can happily use 5G, but we know that it has got these effects. Just open up, we make our decisions, we choose. What's bad about that? Besides that, I would like to also tackle deeper on the microwave. When you heat your food in the microwave, the waves are centralized. They are concentrated within the microwave because they are heated or fired into the food. But this now, 5G, the radiations are distributed 360 to the environment, to the atmosphere. Okay? In the air. And what is happening in the air now? They cause the decrease in oxygen. Oxygen is diminished. And the sad part about that is that we are not planting trees. Instead, we are even cutting trees to install 5G towers, because trees are objects which block what? 5G network. Because 5G network has got what? Short waves. So if you cut a tree that gives you oxygen, what are you doing? You are cooking food on your stove. Then you take a pot with food, you make it your toilet, and you want to eat that food. You expect that food to be eatable. We are getting oxygen from trees and nowhere else, and we are killing those trees. And these big guys who are doing this, they live in large mansions, many thousands of hectares away from the city. And upon that, where they stay is a lush vegetable, green, and there is massive pure oxygen. You are in the city, there is not even a single tree. What is happening? Screening you. So let's actually make it clear so that people can choose. Who said people cannot choose? Let's not do like we are persuading people to accept it and so forth. We speak the good about it, we don't speak both sides, the positives and negatives. This brilliance, these professionals, these intellectuals, I better say they are the so-called intellectuals, professionals, what. And again from there, who said only intellectuals have got credible opinions to be understood? Who said only intellectuals can reason? Huh? Mark Zuckerberg dropped out of the college, and today he's worth some billions. When he speaks, they understand him. But when an ordinary person speaks without a degree, they want to know who they are. But when Mark Zuckerberg speaks, he doesn't have a degree, but they recognize him because of Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp. Is that? If anybody can speak something, conclude from yourself. If you have got a better opinion than the one they have, share your opinion. Correct them where they are wrong. People must ask. People must be given attention. Despite whether they are scientists or whatever, do not tag on the internet, it's fake news, it's fake news. By whose authority are you saying it's fake news? How fake is fake? And who said what you are saying is not fake? On which basis are you saying it's not fake? Because you are a professional, you have a degree. Is that a qualification to make you not to speak something bad? No, we have seen a lot of people who are educated, but they speak nonsense. Let's get the facts right. We are human beings. We are all susceptible to error. We are capable of erring. And this 5G, the only thing I can see here, the advancement is centered on business. But somebody, Mahatma Gandhi, he said business without morality. Business without morality. Don't build a seat without the Lord. You build it for nothing. Listen, even if it's not even worth understanding, listen. And if it's all about brilliance, if it's all about experience, if it's all about professionalism, now I have somebody who is a professional, who is much brilliant and much experienced than these young guys, and here is it.
Obviously, which uses microwave, but they don't just teach you radar, they teach you all about microwaves and other uses. So I understood about microwave warfare and how it can damage people, how it can harm people.
Barry Trower, Royal Navy microwave weapons expert. And this one is an old guy. You can respect him from what he said and his experience. He's a dead, concerned about the earth. There is something that touched me that he said. He said, if you see somebody who puts a Wi-Fi tower at a school, that person deserves life imprisonment, because what he is doing to these little ones is cruelty that will affect the generations to come. You can find him on radiationhealth.com, and there are even many guys over there who are speaking much about this radiation thing. And this guy is emphasizing that there are documents stored even during the Cold War and even in the old eras, but these modern scientists are not reading them. They are focusing on advancement of technology, but they are not focusing on the effects of this one. This video is long, for 14 minutes. I will take it, I will put the link to it in the description below. You can watch the whole of it, but I'm going to play some little parts and you hear what he's gonna say. Can you see? I understood much about microwave warfare, and I understood how I can damage people. Can you hear this? He is speaking from first hand with his own mouth. How I can, not how we, how they, how I can damage people, because the purpose of microwave warfare is to damage people, enemies.
If somebody's beaming you with microwaves, they'll go right through you, and as you open the casing, trigger a photoelectric cell, and it'll blow all of us up. And he said if it doesn't go through to the bomb, it'll aim it at your head and make you make a mistake. And that's really got me interested from that point, because I thought, well, how can microwaves going into your brain make you make a mistake? I asked a lot of questions. I have a very curious brain.
A perfect stealth weapon.
And when governments don't like a group of people, for instance, the ladies who protest at Greenham Common,
to disperse crowds. to attack your enemies in warfare.
Wi-Fi, I think anyone who puts Wi-Fi into a school should be locked up for the rest of their life. I really do. I think they're not fit to walk on the surface of this planet because they haven't looked at the research, and whatever incentive they have, it is not worth the genetic problems that parents are going to face with their children when they're born. And if you think left, a small part of my job was to question captured agents, spies, terrorists, because microwaves then were used as weapons, as they are today. It is a perfect stealth weapon, and when governments don't like a group of people, for instance, the ladies who protest at Greenham Common in England about the American missile base they camped, they were microwaved. We microwaved Catholics in Northern Ireland to make them sick. It goes on all over the world, and it's a weapon that you don't know you're being targeted because the dose is very, very low, which is actually more dangerous than a high dose. It's very, very low, and it may take a year or two, but you can cause neurological damage and cancers with low-level microwaves, and you can make all your opponents sick. It's a perfect weapon for a government.
The first one in the interview over there, why did he mention it? He only mentioned the better side of it. So to that extent it becomes deception, isn't it? It becomes deception, because when later on somebody hears the truth about it, he will think you deceived them to achieve what you wanted. Like I did. I listened to it and I said, wow, this guy is speaking well. But when I heard this guy, I became sad. I said, he's misleading us. He's not talking the good and the bad of it. We are not against technology. We love technology. But when technology destroys the life that it should save, what is it? It is now taking my knowledge. It's no longer technology. We are saying we want to take ourselves to greatness. But as we are taking ourselves to greatness, when we take ourselves to greatness, let's not take ourselves to greatness. Remember, take yourself like you are a cow and you are grazing in the yard, you are grazing in the forest, in the pastures. You begin to fight with another cow. During the fight, the pastures or the grass is getting destroyed, because the ground is what is destroyed. There is now no space for the grass to grow. What will I eat tomorrow? It's good with technology, but why cutting down the trees? We need to breathe. If you no longer want to breathe, simply take a parachute or whatever you can use, a spaceship, and go to Mars. There is no oxygen there. You can live better. We are still living by the law of nature. We still want to breathe. Leave trees for us. I think the best remedy that we can do as of now as humanity to apologize for these consequences that are coming with coronavirus and so forth is to kneel down and begin to plant trees as a way of saying to nature, sorry mama, we wronged you. Isn't that good? Isn't that brilliant? Huh? I think that's brilliant. So can't we do that? Let's plant trees to apologize. We need forgiveness from nature because we have wronged nature. All that is happening right now, worldwide lockdown, is because of our recklessness. You hear in the previous episodes, if you happen to watch, Saguru was saying There are people who are reckless, who love throwing poison everywhere. We have done that, myself not excluded. We are all reckless. We have polluted the waters, we have polluted the air, we have cut down the trees, we have created deserts, rivers have dried up. What was natural is now artificial. Where will we get with all these artificial cities without the coexistence with nature? Of course, if we are to say the disease is from animals, now I have clear basis to even still come back and say, although the disease is from animals, we are also wrong. The disease is jumping from animals to humans for one reason. It has seen our behavior. Nature will never retaliate on you unless you wrong it. That is the principle of God. God put things into principles. He set the laws that happen on themselves. God will never come down and need to apologize. But while we need to apologize, there is one problem now. Because if I am yearning to be great, if I want to build a seat for myself to be great, there is a problem there. I can't apologize. Because no person who wants to be great can be humble at the same time. So, before we apologize, we should first be humble. Remember in the previous video I mentioned submission and surrendering. Surrendering and submission. But now, people who feel great, people who feel like they want to be great, it means that they are saying we want to have authority over, we want everything to be in our hands. So such people is difficult for them to apologize. I cannot apologize. I want to be great. I want power. That is one of the greatest mistakes. Now, put the tower next to you or in your neighborhood, in your street, is living far away in the beautiful lands, is walking in a beautiful motorcade armored vehicle, doesn't feel the heat, the radiation. But you, what is happening? Your DNA is damaged, is getting damaged every day. And what else? You have got headaches. And what else? Oxygen is being depleted. No wonder why coronavirus is associated with what? With breathing. Shame. Is associated with breathing. And normally people who are suffering from COVID-19, they have difficulty with what? Breathing. Why? Because it gets into your body, the radiation gets into your body, it deprives you of oxygen. When you are deprived of oxygen, what will happen? You can't breathe well. Okay, then what else? Your reproduction system is affected. And what else? Cancer. What else? Environment is destroyed. Animals will be also affected because they have to move away, far away from the neighborhood. You no longer dance to the music of the birds in the morning. Not only that, animals may die. Not may die, I'm wrong. Animals will die. Okay? They are very innocent, but they are dying. No oxygen. They are not. What should you do? Because 5G is now there where you are staying. What should you do? Number one thing that I would like to encourage you between 2020 and 2025, find a skill that you can learn for yourself and begin to manage yourself. And be no longer employable. Do not be employed. Look for a skill that you can do for yourself and run away from the city crisis, live in the rural, and that way, in the rural, you are far away from what? From 5G. And what else is in the rural? There are rivers you can go and swim. in the rivers. And what else can you do in the rural? There is lush oxygen. You can breathe proper air. You can go and meditate in nature. What else can you do in the rural? You can easily walk barefooted, connecting to nature, getting rid of the negative ions in the body. And you are saying, welcome, Mother Nature. You are getting connected with nature and not with 5G. You see the secret. Then from there, what else can you do? Stop eating too much meat, or if necessary, stop eating meat. Stop eating dairy products. Eat healthy foods. Moringa powder, spirulina is in Africa. What else? Grapes. Not genetically modified grapes. Apples, bananas, avocados, turmeric. Lots of natural, healthy vegetables that you can eat out there and stay healthy. And what else can you do? Drink a lot of water. Drink a lot of water. So, ladies and gentlemen, you see that where we are going, we need a lot of adjustments to do or to make. If you don't make these adjustments, a lot of things in your life is gonna be out of hand. If you find a skill, you teach yourself a particular skill, you work on the internet, you are out there in the rural, you connect with people in the city, you'll be just working away from the 5G. And in nature exercises, we now need to change our lifestyles to stay healthy, okay? So, ladies and gentlemen, that's it. If you have got any comments, any ideas that you can actually put, any criticisms, any opinions, any contributions, you are most welcome. And make sure, if you see this information helpful, why not consider subscribing so that whenever I post another video, you can get notified. Thanks for watching. I love you as always. Stay safe, be protected, be comforted. We pass our condolences to those whose relatives have passed away. It's really sad. Those who are sick, we wish you a quick recovery. Thank you very much for watching. God bless you. Until tomorrow.